Some saints die and simply never rot. Eyelashes are intact, their skin is lifelike. Even sometimes they say there's a fragrance of roses centuries after they've died. Doctors, skeptics, and even popes have examined these bodies. No single natural explanation fits every case. So are these incorrupt bodies of saints a miracle or simply something that science has yet to solve? Before delving deeper, let's review the Church's official criteria. The Catholic Church applies the designation of incorrupt with great care and scrutiny. The body must remain preserved without the use of embalming, artificial methods, or refrigeration. Investigators conduct thorough examinations, which can include touching the body and testing for flexibility of the limbs. If the body has avoided natural decomposition without artificial intervention, the case is then forwarded to the bishop. There's another critical requirement. The individual must have lived a life of recognized sanctity. Only 100 or so saints have been officially recognized as incorrupt out of the more than 10,000 canonized saints. The rarity of this phenomena is statistically remarkable. And these just aren't one-off stories. Across Europe, South America, and even modern-day Missouri, entire bodies have surfaced perfectly preserved. Let's take a closer look at the most famous saints whose bodies still defy decay, a tour, if you will. Saint Bernadette Soubirous died in 1879 and was exhumed on 3 separate occasions. Church officials noted each time an absence of the odor of decay. She rests in Nevers, France, with a light wax covering applied to her face and her hands for protection. Padre Pio in San Giovanni Rotondo. His body is presented with a protective silicone mask, but underlying features are said to remain well preserved. Then there's Saint Zita of Lucca, a medieval servant 300 years after her death. Her joints are reportedly still flexible. Saint Martin de Porres in Lima. It was reported that after his death, a sweet floral scent led to the examination of his coffin. Saint Charbel Maklouf of Lebanon, a blood-like fluid reportedly seeped from his body for weeks after his death, and his skin remained soft and pliant.
Heavens, what is that? I've never seen anything like it.
Each of these cases presents similar profound questions to those who witness them. Skeptics argue there must be a natural cause. Could they be right? Maybe the climate, maybe the soil, maybe even body fat. A lot of maybes, so let's examine natural explanations first. Could dry environments like the catacombs be the cause? The problem is, some of the incorrupt saints are interred in humid Italian climates. Now, some say adipose tissue can slow decomposition, but that doesn't explain the preservation of slender individuals like Saint Teresa of Avila. Her contemporary Saint John the Cross was buried in a similar environment very nearby, and his body decomposed naturally. The church documents environmental conditions carefully. Natural mummification typically results in desiccated, leathery appearance with shrunken features. By contrast, the incorruptibles often appear as if they're merely sleeping. A single natural explanation remains elusive. Now, cynics will chime in that there must have been some secret preservation technique, maybe airtight tombs or even chemical tricks. Let's see how those claims hold up. One of the possibilities they claim is that low oxygen environments, like a tomb, might be responsible for this phenomenon. But this is unlikely since many crypts are not airtight. Could there have been a secret preservation technique, like herbal injections? Examinations have found no evidence of incisions. Another process, called saponification, where body fats turn into a waxy substance. However, saponified remains have a distinct waxy appearance, unlike the lifelike state of the incorrupt. Regarding the claim of the wax masks, while some of the incorruptibles do have a light wax covering to prevent discolorations, X-rays of Saint Bernadette confirm that the underlying skeletal structure is intact within her own preserved tissues. This explanation, therefore, is not sufficient in all cases. So what scientific examinations have been done? In 1928, doctors from the University of Paris analyzed a fluid sample from the coffin of Saint Charbel. They reported finding red and white blood cells and hemoglobin 52 years after his death. In 1950, pathologists in Milan examined the body of Saint Maria Mazzarello. They found her joints were still pliable, her muscles were soft, there was no sign of bacterial activity. Her coffin was then sealed. The scientific community acknowledges these findings as unusual and not easily explained. Theologically speaking, the Church does not view incorruptibility as a spectacle, but as a sign. It underscores the importance of the body, which in Christian doctrine is destined for resurrection along with the soul. Thinkers like Thomas Aquinas describe humans as animated bodies, not spirits inhabiting a machine. Therefore, when a saint's body defies the natural process of decay, it is seen as a suggestion that divine grace can operate beyond natural laws. For believers, it's a foreshadowing of the resurrection. For skeptics, it remains a puzzle. Both are confronted by the same physical evidence. And this isn't just a medieval legend. There is a case in the U.S. in 2019 where a nun in Missouri was exhumed, and what people found was shocking. Check this out. In 2016, Sister Wilhelmina Lancaster, a 95-year-old African-American nun, passed away in rural Missouri. She was buried in a simple wooden coffin without any embalming. 4 years later, when her body was exhumed, it was found to be remarkably intact, with her rosary and religious habit also showing little sign of decay. The discovery garnered significant public and media attention. An official investigation by the diocese was launched and is ongoing. Initial analysis of the soil showed the presence of bacteria that would normally cause decomposition, yet the body remained preserved. If the Church officially recognizes her as incorrupt, it could be a significant step in her cause for sainthood, making her the first proclaimed African-American saint and adding a new chapter to this long-standing phenomenon. A miracle or a misunderstood biological process. We are presented with bodies that have resisted natural decomposition, extensive documentation that challenges skeptical claims, and no single scientific theory that can account for all of this. The Church maintains a very high standard for verification, while science continues to ask important questions. Perhaps the most candid conclusion is that a complete explanation remains elusive. In a world that often assumes every mystery is easily solved, the incorruptible saints serve as a powerful reminder that there are still phenomena that inspire awe and defy simple explanation. Miracle or mystery, what do you think? Now, have you ever visited the shrine of an incorrupt saint? Please share the location in the comments below. We would be interested to learn from your experience. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. In some of our upcoming videos, we will continue to explore medical investigations into alleged Eucharistic miracles where consecrated hosts have appeared to transform into human tissue.